Hello, my name is Patrick, and I am working with a group of master's students to create this series of videos describing the basics of polymers and their characteristics. Polymers make up everyday products such as plastic bags, fidget spinners, and milk cartons. They are also used in many medical devices and implants such as knee implants. There's a lot to learn about polymers, so we have created this series of videos to serve as an introduction. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this series on polymers. Now, as I said before, there are many types of polymers. However, we want to make these videos more relatable and enjoyable by using food as an analogy to explain properties seen in plastics and other polymers. Now let's get into the meat of the context and discuss the basics of polymers. A polymer is a material built up by long chains of a repeating molecule. The word polymer means many mers, where the mer refers to this repeat unit. The type of mer and the number of mers will determine the different properties of the polymer as a whole. We will refer to the connecting mers as a polymer chain. To visualize these chains, we will be using pasta as an example. You can imagine that each strand of spaghetti is a polymer chain. When the chains are shorter, the chains tend to remain fairly independent and can move more easily past each other. If the chains grow longer, they are more likely to intertwine or become entangled. When we try to pull them apart, they don't slip as easily. This gives the polymer increased strength. Increasing the chain length will also increase the melting temperature and glass transition temperature of the polymer. These concepts will be explained in our future videos. There are many ways to categorize polymers. One way is to separate them into thermoplastics and thermosets. A thermoset is a polymer where the chains have undergone a lot of cross-linking. This means that the chains are stuck to each other and form a network. A thermoplastic has very few, if any, crosslinks. However, a thermoplastic may act in a way that acts like cross-linking. Entanglement is one of these temporary crosslinks that can be reversed. Most importantly, being a thermoset or thermoplastic changes if the polymer will melt or burn when heated, and also determines whether or not it is recyclable. A thermoplastic can be heated up and melted, then cooled down into a solid again, just like an ice cube will melt into water at room temperature, and freeze into an ice cube again when it's put into the freezer. As a result, thermoplastics tend to be highly recyclable as you can melt it and reshape it to create a new product. One example of a thermoplastic polymer would be PVC pipe. A thermoset, on the other hand, behaves more like an egg. You might start out with a liquid, but when the polymer has hardened, it will remain a solid no matter how much you try to heat it up. It will burn instead of melt if you apply enough heat to it. Since thermosets do not melt, they tend not to be recyclable. One example of a thermoset polymer would be rubber. Next time you make pancakes, take note of how the pancake batter behaves like a thermoset. Can you think of any polymer you might have in your house? Are they thermoset or thermoplastic? To summarize, polymers have a wide range of uses and can be found almost everywhere. They are made up of long chains of repeating units called mers and can either be thermoplastic or thermoset, depending on their degree of cross-linking. Thank you for watching this intro video on polymers. In our next video, we will be going more into the structural components of polymers and discuss how crystallinity, glass transition temperature, and melting temperature are all affected by our polymer chains.